Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw tonight was from the CHI Health Center in Omaha, Nebraska, and the show just ended. And Monday Night Raw tonight, I thought it was a solid show, in my opinion. Of course, next week is the season premiere of Monday Night Raw, to which WWE has already announced matches for next week, which they advertised tonight on Monday Night Raw. But tonight on Monday Night Raw, we had Ivar versus Kofi Kingston in a Viking rules match. We had Raquel Rodriguez, Smiley Raquel, versus Nia Jax. We had Bronson Reed versus Ricochet and Gable in a triple threat match. The winner of this would face Gunther next week for the Intercontinental Championship. We had Drew McIntyre. He ended up taking on JD McDonaugh. We had the NXT Women's Championship on the line, where Becky Lynch defended the title against Tegan Knox. And the main event, we had JEY USO and CODY RHODES versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. The Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship was on the line. And whoever won the match will get to face Judgment Day next week with the titles on the line. But overall, Monday Night Raw, solid show tonight. But anyways, let's jump right into the review. Monday Night Raw opened up tonight with the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins made his way down to the ring. He was wearing glasses that looked like water goggles and a jacket. He looked like a checkerboard in that jacket. So Rollins stood in the ring. He listened to the Omaha crowd sing his theme. You know, the crowd was going, whoa. So Rollins got on the mic. He welcomed Omaha to Monday Night Rollins. Rollins ended up saying that he is feeling some type of way tonight. He ended up saying that the adrenaline is a powerful thing, because at Fastlane, in a last man standing match, Shinsuke Nakamura took him to his limit. Which, that was the main event of Fastlane, which it was a good match. Props to Seth Rollins in that match, because throughout that match, Nakamura was just focusing on Seth Rollins' back, and Seth Rollins, was just going through the match, in pain from his back. And I've seen people online, some of the internet wrestling community, they were like, oh, well, Seth Rollins, he landed on a mattress during a spot in that match, because there was a fan video that got posted on social media showing Seth Rollins laying on a mattress, and people were complaining about that. I'm like, what is there to complain about? You guys want Seth Rollins to land and injure himself from a spot like that? You guys got to be crazy. Nothing to complain about there. And this was, in an article, and this was posted on, wrestling news sites. I'm like, is this really news? So, Rollins ended up saying that there were times in that match that he didn't know if he'd get back up, but he did. He ended up saying there were times he didn't think he'd be able to keep Nakamura down, but he did. So he ended up saying after the match, the entire crowd was singing his song, and that he felt like he was on top of the world. He ended up saying that he went to the back and the adrenaline wore off, which reminded him that his back was still very broken. Rollins ended up saying that he wants to level with the crowd. He ended up saying being their World Heavyweight Champion has been one of the great honors of his career. So Rollins paused. He looked down at the canvas. The crowd was chanting, "Thank you, Rollins." Rollins ended up saying that he wants them to know that he's just getting started. So the crowd ended up cheering for him, and then he started cackling, like, So Rollins ended up saying that he'll still be a fighting champion, and he'll take on anyone at any time and anywhere. Rollins ended up saying that he was just hoping that maybe there's one night where he doesn't have to fight for his life. So the crowd ended up booing at that, and Rollins just laughed. He ended up saying they can sing a little. So the crowd starts going, whoa. So he had sing along. So then Drew McIntyre ended up making his way out. Drew McIntyre made his way to the ring. Rollins ended up saying to McIntyre, "You're not here to party, are you?" McIntyre then shook his head. Rollins ended up saying that McIntyre wants a World Heavyweight Championship match. Rollins ended up saying that he just wanted one night. He ended up saying that he's a fighting champion, so he'll go to the back for a moment and get ready. To which McIntyre ended up telling Rollins to relax. He ended up saying that the party is still going on, and people will jump him in the parking lot, in the backstage area, at his hotel, anywhere. McIntyre ended up saying that he wants Rollins as close to 100% as possible. So McIntyre ended up saying that he wants to face Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at Crown Jewel. So Rollins ended up saying that he's not used to his challengers coming to his face and challenging him. And Rollins ended up asking Omaha if they want to see Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at Crown Jewel, to which the crowd ended up cheering for that. So Rollins ended up saying, "We've got ourselves a match." So there you go. It's going to be Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship in Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel on November 4th. So McIntyre ended up going to leave. Rollins ended up saying that the party is still going on. He ended up saying that McIntyre used to be in a band referencing 3MB. Yeah, like we all don't want to remember 3MB. So Rollins ended up saying, so maybe McIntyre can sing a little something. So McIntyre ended up saying that he has to take care of some things in the back. But if anyone sees him partying in Omaha, they can buy him a pint or a shot. So McIntyre ended up walking off. Rollins started partying in the ring. And then all of a sudden, Damian Priest attacked Rollins from behind. And he ended up hitting Rollins with the South of Heaven. So McIntyre was just watching from the ramp. He did not help Rollins. So then Dominic Mysterio ended up running down the entrance ramp with the Money in the Bank briefcase and a ref. McIntyre then stopped Dominic from handing Priest the briefcase. So Dominic ended up asking McIntyre, what is he doing? McIntyre took the Money in the Bank briefcase from Dominic, and he ended up laying Dominic out with the Glasgow kiss. Priest looked furious in the ring, and then McIntyre threw the briefcase toward the stage, and he walked off. And that was a pretty good throw from McIntyre, throwing the briefcase toward the stage. So Priest was not happy about that. Rollins then attacked Priest and clotheslined Priest out of the ring. And pretty much that was basically how the segment ended. But overall, pretty decent segment to open Monday Night Raw here with Seth Rollins coming out there. And Drew McIntyre, wanting to accept a match, against Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel for the World Heavyweight Championship. Should be a good match between the both of them at Crown Jewel in Saudi. And then we had an advertisement for Becky Lynch's autobiography, which is coming out in March next year. and it's going to be called The Man, Not Your Average Girl. So a little plug for Becky Lynch's autobiography there. And then we went to the first match of the night. Ivar versus Kofi Kingston. Viking rules match. The ring was decorated with Viking shields on the apron, and we had flags on the turnbuckles. So this was a good match here. Very enjoyable. Match started off with Ivar immediately hitting Kofi with a big boot as the bell rang. Ivar then whipped Kofi into the corner. Kofi springboarded out with a crossbody block to Ivar. Kofi started punching away at Ivar. Ivar ended up getting away and charging at Kofi, but Kofi pulled the top rope down to get Ivar out of the ring. Kofi ended up diving over the top rope, and it looked like Kofi nearly spiked himself on the head with a plancha, which that looked brutal there. And even on replay, it looked pretty bad. Kofi then quickly got up. He started celebrating. Ivar ended up slinging Kofi into the Viking shields. Ivar started punching Kofi around ringside, but Kofi ended up leaping off the ring steps and ended up taking Ivar down. Kofi ended up going under the ring, and he took out a table. Kofi then ended up leaving the table on the barricade. Ivar ended up attacking Kofi and laid him on the apron. Ivar ended up hitting Kofi with a splash, just like Big E. Ivar ended up standing on the apron. He ended up going to pull Kofi up, but Kofi ended up flipping Ivar off the apron to the floor. Kofi then headed to the second rope, and he splashed Ivar on the floor as he was getting up. Kofi then ended up going for the cover. Ivar ended up kicking out. So apparently, falls count anywhere in this Viking rules match. So then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Kofi was in control of the match. He ended up pinning Ivar with a side leg sweep off the second rope while holding the pole of a Viking flag over Ivar's throat. So both Kofi and Ivar were down. Kofi ended up sliding under the bottom rope. He ended up kicking Ivar back. Kofi ended up leaping over Ivar and drove Ivar into a Viking shield, which snapped in two. Kofi ended up connecting with the SOS to Ivar. He ended up going for the cover, to which Ivar kicked out. Kofi ended up hitting the ropes. He ended up kicking Ivar in his chest. Kofi ended up going for a boom drop, but Ivar got to his feet. So Ivar grabbed Kofi, ended up hitting a spin slam, to which Ivar ended up going for the cover, and Kofi kicked out. Ivar ended up setting up for a double arm powerbomb to Kofi, but Kofi ended up fighting out of it. Ivar ended up fighting back. He ended up hitting a double arm set out powerbomb to Kofi, to which he ended up going for the cover, and Kofi kicked out. Ivar ended up charging at Kofi, but Kofi ended up sidestepping Ivar. So Ivar ended up putting the brakes on. He ended up going through the table, leaning in the corner. Ivar then ended up wiping Kofi out with a spinning heel kick. Ivar headed to the top rope, and Kofi ended up quickly getting up. He ended up hitting Ivar in the head with a shield. Kofi got on the apron, and he grabbed Ivar by his beard. And so Kofi ended up flipping Ivar off the top rope and through a table that was set up at ringside, which that was a crazy spot there. But like the spot there, Kofi ended up grabbing Ivar's beard, flipped him off the top rope, and Ivar just went straight through the table. So then all of a sudden, Valhalla jumped off the commentary table and attacked Kofi. So Xavier Woods ran down, and he was frightened by Valhalla. Valhalla ended up charging at Xavier Woods, but Xavier ended up ducking to send Valhalla over the barricade. So Xavier Woods was laughing, and then all of a sudden Ivar ended up slamming himself into Xavier Woods against the barricade, which I laughed at that. I thought that was pretty funny. So, because Xavier was like, ah! And then all of a sudden, Ivar comes in and then just slams himself against the barricade onto Xavier Woods. So Kofi kicked Ivar in the face. He ended up getting Ivar in the ring. Kofi ended up going for the trouble in paradise, but Ivar countered that by catching Kofi and slamming Kofi through the table that was leaning in the corner. Ivar slowly headed up to the top rope, and he delivered a moonsault to Kofi, and he ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Ivar ended up winning this Viking Rules match. Post-match, Ivar and Valhalla ended up posing in the ring. Xavier Woods then tended to his buddy Kofi at ringside, and that was basically that. But overall, good match this was between Ivar and Kofi. You know, this Viking Rules match. Some good spots here. And that moonsault by Ivar off the top was just great. But good match it was. And then we saw Byron Saxton. Byron Saxton was backstage with Shinsuke Nakamura. Byron Saxton ended up saying to Nakamura that this past Saturday at Fastlane, he pushed Seth Rollins to his limit. So he ended up asking Nakamura, how did he feel about his performance? Nakamura didn't even say a word to Byron Saxton. He was just silent. So Byron Saxton ended up asking Nakamura about future plans. And then Ricochet attacked Nakamura. So officials ended up quickly running in, and they pulled Ricochet away from Nakamura. So right back to Ricochet versus Nakamura. So we're going to be getting that next week on Monday Night Raw. And then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we saw Damian Priest. Damian Priest was holding Jaden McDonough against the wall by his throat. So Balor, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest end up pulling him away, end up pulling Priest away. Balor ended up telling McDonough that he's caused enough trouble. Priest ended up asking Rhea Ripley and Balor why they weren't out there earlier. So Rhea Ripley ended up saying that she got Balor and Priest a rematch for the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship next week on Monday Night Raw. So what is this? Rhea Ripley is now booking WWE creative here? So Priest ended up saying to Rhea Ripley, that's fine. But he still wants McIntyre and JD McDonough. Rhea Ripley ended up saying that McIntyre doesn't matter, and that Priest still has the contract. So Rhea Ripley got in JD McDonough's face, ended up saying that he'll need to prove himself by facing Drew McIntyre. So McDonough ended up telling Rhea Ripley he will face McIntyre. So Priest ended up saying to McDonough that he better handle McIntyre. So Priest then kicked McDonough out of the area, and that was basically that. So yeah, so now we're getting a rematch next week. You know, Judgment Day versus either Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, or Cody Rhodes, or Jey Uso for next week. Like I said, was Rhea Ripley booking WWE creative here? She's getting the rematch approved? And then we had Raquel Rodriguez, Smiley Raquel. She came out there smiling. Gotta check on those pearly whites. Those Colgate pearly whites. So she ended up coming out there, and then Nia Jax made her way out. This was boring, in my opinion. Nia Jax immediately ended up hitting Raquel with a death press, and she ended up bouncing the back of Raquel's head off the mat a few times. Raquel Rodriguez then ended up punching Nia Jax back and sidestepped Nia in the corner. Raquel then showed Nia Jax in the corner a few times, and she ended up going for a scoop slam to Nia Jax. But Raquel couldn't even lift her. And Raquel Rodriguez's wardrobe malfunctioned. Looked like her collars ripped. So Nia Jax started clubbing away at Raquel before sending her into the ring post shoulder first. Raquel then fell out of the ring. Nia Jax ended up going to the outside, and she pushed Raquel into the LED apron. She then ended up sending Raquel headfirst into the barricade, and then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. And then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Raquel Rodriguez was shown elbowing out of a waistlock from Nia Jax, but Nia Jax ended up quickly flattening Raquel with a sidewalk slam. Nia Jax ended up dropping an elbow to Raquel. Nia Jax then ended up applying a Cobra Clutch on Raquel. Raquel ended up fighting up. She ended up hitting a clothesline that stumbled Nia Jax to the ropes. So Raquel ended up taking Nia Jax down with a big boot. Raquel ended up trying to get Nia Jax on her shoulders, but of course, Raquel's back ended up giving out. Nia Jax then ended up hitting a running avalanche to Raquel, to which then she ended up sending Raquel into the ropes and delivered a Samoan drop. Nia Jax then pulled Raquel to the corner, and Nia Jax was sent up for the bonsai drop. Raquel ended up popping up, and she ended up getting Nia Jax on her shoulders. And she ended up walking Nia Jax to the center of the ring, and she delivered a powerbomb to Nia Jax. And all of a sudden, Rhea Ripley ended up running down, and she ended up attacking Raquel by sending her out of the ring, which the match ended in a no contest here. Post-match, Rhea Ripley ended up attacking Nia Jax. She ended up flooring Nia Jax with a kick to her head. Raquel ended up attacking Rhea Ripley, and she ended up hitting two short-arm clotheslines to Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley avoided a third clothesline, and she headbutted Raquel down. Shayna Baszler then ended up running to the ring and attacked Nia Jax. Rhea Ripley then pulled Baszler off, and she ended up telling Baszler that Nia Jax belongs to her. So Rhea Ripley walked off. But Shayna Baszler ended up turning Rhea Ripley inside out with a German suplex, and then she ended up kneeing Rhea Ripley in the face. Shayna Baszler stood tall in the ring as Nia Jax ended up retreating, and pretty much that was basically that. But overall, boring match this was, and it looks like we're going to be seeing a fatal four-way between Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley, and Shayna Baszler. You definitely know that that's going to be coming. And then we saw Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre was shown pacing backstage. Seth Rollins came up to McIntyre. He ended up saying that Adam Pearce made their match for Crown Jewel official. And Rollins ended up saying that he wants to know what the hell is wrong with McIntyre. He ended up saying that Damian Priest was attacking him, and McIntyre did nothing. He ended up saying that the Money in the Bank contract appears, so he becomes a hero when it benefits him. So McIntyre ended up telling Rollins that he's not getting involved in things that don't affect him. McIntyre ended up saying that he doesn't care if Damian Priest attacks Rollins, but if he wants a title, that affects everyone. McIntyre ended up saying that he doesn't want what happened with the Bloodline on SmackDown to happen here. Rollins ended up telling McIntyre that he doesn't have to worry because the Judgment Day couldn't take the title from him, and neither can McIntyre. So, that was that. Match made official for Crown Jewel. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we saw Jackie Redmond. Jackie Redmond was backstage with Shayna Baszler. Jackie Redmond ended up asking Shayna Baszler about all the mayhem in the women's division. Baszler ended up telling Jackie Redmond that she doesn't care who is in the ring with her. She ended up saying that she's the baddest woman in that ring. She ended up saying that no one sneak attacks her and gets away with it. So Akira Tozawa walked up. And then he ended up walking off. I'm like, okay, Akira Tozawa just walks up randomly and then leaves. And then we saw Michael Cole. Michael Cole was in the ring. He ended up welcoming one half of the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. Main event, Jey Uso. So Jey Uso came out. He made his way to the ring. Got a big ovation from the Omaha crowd. You know, with that awful theme music that he has. Everybody was doing the Jey Uso. So Jey got into the ring. He got the crowd moving with him because everybody was going like this, doing the Jey Uso. So then Cody Rhodes ended up coming out. So he had sing-along from the crowd where everybody was going, whoa! So the champions stood together in the ring. Michael Cole ended up asking them both how it feels to be the champions. To which Jey ended up saying, it's amazing, and that he's a 2-time Undisputed Tag Team Champion. And his partner is Cody Rhodes. Michael Cole ended up saying that he had goosebumps calling the match on Saturday. And he ended up saying that Rhodes brought Jey back to WWE. And less than 2 months later, they're tag team champions. So then Michael Cole ended up asking Cody what this massive responsibility of defending the tag team titles around the world before the greatest fans due to his original goal of finishing the story. He ended up saying they've all seen the documentary and that he has had long conversations with him about it. So Michael Cole was like to Cody, is this going to deter him from finishing the story? Or is Cody scared of letting people down after he failed the first time? So Cody ended up saying that Michael Cole is right about them being tag team champions and how he brought Jey Uso back. Cody ended up saying that he is excited to be the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Champion. So Michael Cole ended up saying that Cody won the Royal Rumble and came close to winning the WWE Championship, just like his father, Dusty Rhodes, did. So he ended up saying, is that going to be Cody's story? So Cody ended up thinking about it. So Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens then end up coming out. And I don't know what happened in the production truck, but they ended up playing Sami Zayn's old music when Sami Zayn was with the Bloodline. So I'm like, oh, somebody in the production truck fucked up there. So Sami Zayn got on the mic. He ended up saying that he hasn't heard that song in a while. He ended up saying that everyone is obsessed with finishing the story. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he wants to talk about another story. He ended up saying that this is the story of Jimmy and Jey Uso holding the tag titles longer than anyone in history. He ended up saying then 2 guys named Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens came around and won those titles in the main event of WrestleMania. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he has no love lost for the Judgment Day, but they're one of the hottest things going. He ended up saying that these 2 men beat them for the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. He ended up saying that's the story that they're talking about. Sami Zayn then ended up saying that he isn't here to take shots at Cody. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he wants to congratulate Cody on winning the titles. He ended up saying as for Jey, they've been through a lot. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he is happy for Jey, that he won the titles. He ended up saying this is the part where it gets complicated and messy. He ended up saying while he thinks the world of them, he sees them holding the titles, and he can't help but feel that it should be him and Kevin Owens holding the titles again. Kevin Owens ended up saying that he doesn't have mixed emotions because he's not happy to see them with the tag titles. Owens ended up saying that he doesn't care how hard they work to do it, and that he wants the titles back. Kevin Owens ended up saying that he would love to challenge Jey and Cody to a tag title match later on tonight. So the crowd was chanting yes. Kevin Owens ended up saying that he knows if he challenges them, they won't accept. He ended up saying that Jey Uso can't handle the thought of losing the titles to them twice. So Cody stepped in. He ended up saying, we're all friends. Or at least, Cody thinks they are. Cody ended up saying that they do accept, and we'll do it tonight. So pretty much that was basically that. So that was the main event of Monday Night Raw tonight, where the winners will get to face the Judgment Day next week for the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship, whether it be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens or Cody and Jey Uso. But overall, this was, an okay segment here. And then we saw Chad Gable. Chad Gable was backstage. He had Otis chopping his chest, and as Otis was chopping Chad Gable's chest, he'd be like, "Oh, thank you! Oh, thank you!" So he ended up saying that if he's going to beat Gunther, he has to have his body in tip-top condition. Otis then ended up telling Chad Gable that it's time for some carnage. So Bronson Reed walked up. Bronson Reed ended up saying that Chad Gable won't get near the Intercontinental Championship as long as he's in the way. Bronson Reed ended up saying that he has beaten Gable, and he has beaten his number one guy, Otis. Bronson Reed ended up telling Gable not to have his daughter watch tonight, because it'll be another heartbreaking loss for Day. So Chad Gable looked focused as Otis started chopping away at Chad Gable's chest, to which Chad Gable was like, "Oh, thank you! Oh, thank you!" So that was basically that. So then Ricochet started to make his way out. But he was attacked from behind by Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura then ended up hitting Ricochet with the GTS, the go to sleep. So there's been all this tease of CM Punk mentioning on WWE television. From Rollins, from Corey Graves, which we heard on commentary on Saturday, and now here by Nakamura, with Nakamura hitting Ricochet with the GTS, the go to sleep. There's been talks, maybe, of CM Punk returning to WWE. Maybe might have his return at Survivor Series, because Survivor Series is going to be in Chicago this year. And of course, Chicago is Punk's hometown. So, who knows? So then, as Nakamura hit Ricochet with the GTS, Nakamura was setting up for the Kinshasa, but officials end up running out to stop Nakamura from hitting the Kinshasa to Ricochet. And so that was basically that. And then we had Ricochet versus Bronson Reed versus Chad Gable. This was a triple threat match. The winner of the match will get to face Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship next week on Monday Night Raw. And this was a decent match here. Ricochet and Chad Gable both end up going after Bronson Reed as the bell rang. Reed ended up fighting Ricochet and Gable off. He ended up avalanching Ricochet. Gable fought back, and he ended up going for a German suplex on Reed, but Bronson Reed ended up getting out of that. Reed ended up going for a delayed vertical suplex, but Ricochet ended up kicking Reed in his midsection. Ricochet and Gable end up chopping and stomping away at Bronson Reed down into the corner. So both Ricochet and Gable tried to whip Bronson Reed to the opposite corner, but this was impressive here. Bronson Reed ended up sending both Chad Gable and Ricochet out of the ring, which was crazy. So Bronson Reed ended up going to the apron. He ended up jumping, but Ricochet ended up drop kicking Reed out of midair. Chad Gable ended up going for a German suplex on the floor on Ricochet, but Ricochet fought out of it. Chad Gable then ended up giving Ricochet a dragon suplex onto Bronson Reed. And then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Bronson Reed ended up attacking Chad Gable on the top rope. Chad Gable ended up grabbing Bronson Reed's arm and stretched it over the top rope. Gable ended up letting go. He ended up jumping on Bronson Reed's back, but Bronson Reed ended up smashing Chad Gable into the corner. Reed ended up sending Ricochet into Chad Gable and avalanched them both. So we had Bronson Reed end up hitting a double Samoan drop to Chad Gable and Ricochet. He ended up going for the cover on Ricochet, to which Ricochet ended up kicking out. Bronson Reed then set up for a powerbomb on Ricochet, but Ricochet got out of that. Ricochet ended up hitting a handspring back elbow to Bronson Reed. Ricochet was trying to go for a springboard, but Reed ended up catching him. Ricochet fought back and drop-kicked Bronson Reed out of the ring. Chad Gable then got into the ring and attacked Ricochet. Ricochet countered a Razor's Edge with a Hurricanrana, and then he connected with a crossbody, which was followed up by a stand shooting star press to Chad Gable. So we had Ricochet end up going for the cover. Chad Gable ended up kicking out. So Ricochet then ducked a clothesline from Bronson Reed and drop kicked him. Chad Gable then ended up hitting Reed with a German suplex, which was crazy. Ricochet then ended up hitting Reed with a somersault senton at ringside. Ricochet then knocked Chad Gable back. He ended up going for a springboard crossbody block, but Gable rolled through and applied an ankle lock. Ricochet then twisted out of the ankle lock. He ended up kneeing Chad Gable in the face. Ricochet went to the top rope. Chad Gable ended up joining him up there, but Ricochet ended up backflipping through a German suplex. So Ricochet's knee ended up giving out on the landing of that. Gable ended up quickly catching Ricochet with the Chaos Theory. Bronson Reed then grabbed Ricochet out of the cover and slammed him onto Chad Gable. Bronson Reed then squashed both Ricochet and Chad Gable with a senton splash. Reed then ended up heading to the top rope, and he ended up hitting Ricochet with the Tsunami. So Bronson Reed ended up going for the cover, and they go. Bronson Reed ended up winning the match. So Bronson Reed will face Gunther next week on Monday Night Raw for the Intercontinental Championship. So overall, this was a decent triple threat match here. And then we saw Becky Lynch, the NXT Women's Champion. She was shown pacing backstage. Jackie Redmond came up to Becky Lynch. She ended up asking her where she's at physically. Becky Lynch ended up saying that the man has come around to Omaha. She ended up saying that she has 11 stitches in her arm. But when you're a fighting champion and doing it right, you're never 100%. Becky then ended up putting over her autobiography, and she ended up saying this is the biggest opportunity of Tegan Nox's career, and that she better bring all she's got. So then Xia Li walked up to Becky Lynch. I completely forgot Xia Li was still employed. That's how long she's been off TV. So Xia Li ended up asking Becky when it will be her turn. Becky then ended up saying that she isn't hard to find. So that was that. And then we had Drew McIntyre versus JD McDonaugh. And this was a good match here. We had Dominic Mysterio at ringside here. Match ended up starting. McIntyre ended up stepping up to McDonough, towered over him. Both McIntyre and McDonough locked up. McIntyre ended up easily powering McDonough into the corner. McDonough responded with a chop to McIntyre's chest, to which McIntyre was not pleased by that. McDonough continued to chop away at McIntyre, and it did nothing to McIntyre. It just made McIntyre get angry. So McIntyre then ended up chasing McDonough out of the ring, and he ended up chasing McDonough back in, and he ended up laying out McDonough with a massive back body drop. It was a very high back body drop. So McIntyre then connected with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex to McDonaugh. McIntyre then ended up hitting a second belly-to-belly suplex before hitting a reverse neckbreaker to McDonaugh. McIntyre kicked up, and Dominic ended up jumping onto the apron. McIntyre then ended up swatting Dominic away, to which McDonaugh ended up chop blocking McIntyre's knee. McIntyre then rolled out of the ring to recover. McDonaugh then started charging at McIntyre ringside, but McIntyre ended up turning McDonaugh inside out with a clothesline on the floor, to which McDonaugh sold the hell out of that clothesline. McIntyre ended up getting McDonaugh in the ring. The ref started checking on McDonaugh. Dominic then ended up sending McIntyre into the ring post, and that led to McDonaugh kicking McIntyre in his face from the apron. And then McDonaugh ended up hitting a side moonsault to McIntyre. McDonaugh ended up getting McIntyre in the ring. He came off the top rope with a splash to McIntyre's leg. McDonaugh then ended up going for the cover, to which McIntyre ended up kicking out. Dominic then tried to pull McIntyre out of the ring, but McIntyre ended up kicking Dominic over the commentary table. McDonaugh ended up going to McIntyre. McIntyre ended up catching McDonaugh with a Future Shock DDT. McIntyre then ended up going to the corner. He counted down 3, 2, 1, and then he laid out McDonaugh with the Claymore. So McIntyre ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Drew McIntyre ended up winning the match. But overall, the match was good, in my opinion. And then we saw Damian Priest backstage. Damian Priest did not look too happy, and Rhea Ripley walked up. And she ended up saying to Priest, before he does anything, she has an idea. So Rhea Ripley ended up telling Priest to trust her. So that was that. And then we saw Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett was interviewing Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. This was done earlier in the day. Ciampa ended up saying that this has been 7 years in the making. And DIY was bigger than them. He ended up saying that they were made undeniable in NXT and had a lot of success. Gargano ended up saying that they always wondered what it would be like if DIY was on Monday Night Raw. So Barrett ended up asking Ciampa and Gargano if they're going to be a team. So before Gargano and Ciampa could answer, they were attacked by Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. And so that was pretty much basically that. But yes, Gargano and Ciampa, they're going to reform as DIY, and looks like they're going to face Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci when the time comes. So we're going to get DIY back with Ciampa and Gargano. So that should be awesome. And then we saw Jackie Redmond. Jackie Redmond was backstage with Tegan Nox. Tegan Nox ended up saying to Jackie Redmond that this isn't just a title match. This is her chance to show the world who the hell she is. And before this interview with Tegan Nox, we got a highlight reel, about her. So Natalya walked up to Tegan Nox. She ended up saying that she was born to do this, and that this is Tegan Nox's time to show Becky what she's all about. So that was basically that. So Tegan Nox made her entrance. So then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Ricochet was looking for Shinsuke Nakamura backstage. Adam Pearce ended up saying that Ricochet will be facing Nakamura next week in a Falls Count Anywhere match. To which Ricochet was happy about that. And then in the background, while this was going on, we saw Rhea Ripley was talking with Drew McIntyre. So I guess when Rhea Ripley told Damian Priest, "Oh, I have an idea," Maybe McIntyre will play in this. Will play a part in this. So then we had Tegan Nox versus Becky Lynch. NXT Women's Championship on the line. And this was a solid match here. Although the crowd was in a coma through this match, the crowd looked like they didn't even care about this match. They were silent throughout it. So the match ended up starting. Both Tegan Nox and Becky Lynch circled the ring. Becky ended up going for a roll-up, but Tegan Nox rolled through and knocked Becky Lynch back. Tegan Nox ended up taking Becky down, but Becky Lynch ended up bending up. They started trading takedowns, and then Tegan Nox applied a backside pin on Becky, and Becky ended up kicking out. So Becky ended up pinning an inside cradle to Tegan Nox, to which she went for the cover, and Tegan Nox ended up kicking out. Tegan Nox got out of a Bexploder and pushed Becky off. Becky ended up hooking Tegan Nox's head with a side headlock and took her down. Tegan Nox rolled through and applied a side headlock on Becky. Becky fought up, but Tegan Nox ended up soon taking Becky down with a shoulder tackle. Becky then ended up taking Tegan Nox down for a 2 count. So Tegan Nox ended up rolling through, and she ended up going for the cover, to which Becky ended up kicking out. Becky ended up catching Tegan Nox with a laid mixed drill for a 2 count. Becky then ended up delivering a shoulder tackle to Tegan Nox. Tegan Nox then ended up hitting an arm drag, and Becky Lynch responded with an arm drag of her own. So Becky ended up kicking Tegan Nox and bounced her into the corner. So Becky started bouncing Tegan Nox into 2 more corners. Nox ended up reversing the whip into the opposite corner. Becky ended up going for a springboard kick, but Tegan Nox blocked it. And Tegan Nox ended up kicking Becky Lynch's arm, which had the 11 stitches in it. So Tegan Nox ended up bouncing Becky off the turnbuckles. She ended up hitting a pair of running uppercuts to Becky. Tegan Nox connected with a snapmare, which was followed up by a running forearm to the back of Becky's neck. So Tegan Nox ended up going for the cover, to which Becky ended up kicking out. We had Tegan Nox ended up kicking Becky Lynch in the face, ended up hitting a cannonball off the apron. Tegan Nox ended up getting Becky in the ring. She ended up going for the cover, and Becky ended up kicking out. Becky then rolled out of the ring to recover. So then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Becky was shown delivering some forearms to Tegan Nox and a kick. Becky Lynch ended up hitting a running shoulder tackle to Tegan Nox. We had Becky Lynch end up hitting a running forearm in the corner, and she followed up with a Bexploder to Tegan Nox. So Becky ended up going for the cover, and Tegan Nox ended up kicking out. We had Becky Lynch end up connecting with a double arm suplex, and she was trying to go for this armor, but Tegan Nox ended up blocking it. So Becky Lynch started yanking on Tegan Nox's arm, but Tegan Nox ended up kicking Becky into the turnbuckles. Tegan Nox ended up avalanching Becky with a cannonball in the corner, to which she ended up going for the cover, to which Becky ended up kicking out. We had Tegan Nox end up going to the second rope. She ended up jumping over Becky. Tegan Nox ended up avoiding a manhandle slam. She ended up rolling Becky up, and Becky ended up kicking out. So we had Becky end up grabbing the arm. Tegan Nox countered it into a roll-up, to which Becky kicked out. Becky ended up immediately transitioning into this armor, and so Tegan Nox ended up tapping out. So there you go. Becky Lynch ended up winning the match, retaining the NXT Women's Championship. Post-match, Becky and Tegan Nox ended up shaking hands, and that was basically that. Overall, it was a solid match. The crowd was in a coma for it, and it looked like they didn't even care about the match, but later on in the match, the crowd looked like they were slowly getting into the match, but that was almost towards the end of the match. A lot of people were like, oh, yeah, we're getting to the conclusion. We don't care about this match. And then we saw Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce was backstage with Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. So Candice LeRae was very worried about her husband, Johnny Gargano, after he was taken out by Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser, along with Tommaso Ciampa, that was also taken out by the both of them. So Pierce ended up saying to Candice that Johnny is banged up, but he's okay. But he has no word about Tommaso Ciampa. So Rhea Ripley walked up. She ended up kicking both Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell out because she wanted to talk to Adam Pearce. So Rhea Ripley ended up saying to Adam Pearce that she wants order in the women's division, and that she wants to face Shayna Baszler next week on Monday Night Raw. So that was that. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Tegan Nox was recovering from a match with Becky Lynch backstage. Natalya then walked up. She kept telling Tegan Nox that she did great. But Tegan Nox ended up saying to Natalya that she's not happy because she lost the match. So Katana Chance and Kaden Carter came up. And they ended up telling Tegan Nox that she did great. And then we had Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, the women's tag team champions, end up coming up. And Chelsea Green ended up making fun of Natalya, Tegan Nox, Kaden Carter, and Katana Chance. Chelsea Green ended up saying that she warned Natalya to not interfere with her again, or else. So Natalya ended up asking Chelsea Green what she'll do. To which Chelsea was like, I'm gonna. And then Piper Niven said to Natalya that she will have to deal with her. So Natalya ended up telling Piper Niven to name a time and place. So Piper Niven ended up saying that she'll face Natalya next week on the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. So Natalya ended up telling Piper Niven that she'll see her there. Oh, that match is going to be a snooze. It's going to be a snooze fest. It's going to be a who cares match. Do you all care? I know I don't. That's your bathroom break match there. So then we had Jey Uso. Jey Uso was warming up backstage when Drew McIntyre walked up to him. Sami Zayn ended up walking up. McIntyre walked off. Jey Uso ended up saying he appreciates Sami Zayn having his back, but it's go time tonight. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he doesn't need to be told twice. So then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn ended up making their way out. And then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we had Ludwig Kaiser. There was a video package on Ludwig Kaiser that he means European excellence. He ended up calling himself an A+ specimen. So it was a little video package on Ludwig Kaiser. Why did we get it? I don't know. Main event. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. This was for the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. The winners of this match will get to face the Judgment Day next week on Monday Night Raw for the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. Very good match this was between these guys. Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn started off the match, and they were approaching one another. Sami Zayn ended up backing up. Both Cody and Sami Zayn locked up. They started tussling around the ring for position. Cody ended up getting Sami Zayn in the corner, ended up giving him a clean break. Both guys ended up locking up again. Sami Zayn backed Cody into the corner. Sami Zayn ended up chopping Cody's chest, which upsetted Cody. It did nothing to Cody. Cody then ended up chopping Sami Zayn and shoved him. Kevin Owens and Jey Uso then got into the ring as Monday Night Raw went to commercial. So then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Sami Zayn was shown coming off the second rope with an elbow to Cody's skull. So Sami Zayn ended up going for the cover, to which Cody ended up kicking out. Cody then tackled Sami Zayn to his corner. Jey Uso ended up tagging in. So Sami and Jey ended up circling the ring. They locked up. Jey ended up applying a set headlock. Sami Zayn whipped Jey off, leapfrogged him, and started punching him down. Sami Zayn ended up chopping Jey's chest a few times, and we had Sami Zayn end up sending Jey into the ropes. Sami then lowered his head, and he ate an uppercut from Jey. Jey ended up getting the crowd fired up, to which the crowd go like doing the JEY USO. Kevin Owens ended up tagging in, and Kevin Owens and Jey locked up, and Owens ended up powering Jey into the corner, and they were shoving each other. Kevin Owens ended up shoving Jey, and Owens ended up taking Jey down. They ended up rolling out of the ring. They kept punching away at each other. We had Owens and Jey end up fighting against the commentary table. So Cody and Sami tried to get involved. Sami and Cody started brawling after shoving each other. Owens and Jey continued to brawl. Owens then started punching Cody in his head and got into the ring. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn stood tall in the ring, and they looked down at Jey and Cody. Jey got on the apron, but Kevin Owens ended up knocking him down. They ended up brawling at ringside, and they rolled over the commentary table. Cody and Sami Zayn started brawling as well, and Cody ended up sending Sami over the table, and Sami Zayn started punching Cody back, and then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Owens ended up applying a rare chin lock to Jey in the center of the ring. Jey ended up fighting up, but Kevin Owens ended up taking Jey down, ended up hitting a senton splash. Owens ended up going for the cover, to which Jey kicked out. Kevin Owens ended up telling Jey to suck it, and then he started stomping away at Jey. Kevin Owens headed to the top rope, but Jey ended up stunning Owens with a kick to his face. Jey tried to go for a superplex, but Owens ended up fighting out of it. Owens headbutted Jey to knock him down to the canvas. Owens then connected with a swanton, and he ended up going for the cover, to which Jey kicked out. Jey started delivering some right hands to Owens. Owens ended up sending Jey into the ropes for a pop-up powerbomb, but Jey ended up getting out of that. Jey superkicked Owens, and Owens ended up superkicking Jey back. Jey ended up hitting 2 superkicks to Owens, and Owens ended up flooring Jey with a clothesline as he ended up going down. So both Jey and Owens were down. They got to their feet. Jey ended up superkicking Owens down again. Cody and Sami then ended up tagging in. Cody ended up hitting a pair of clotheslines to Sami. Sami ended up reversing the whip, but Cody ended up forearming Sami down. Cody ended up slingshotting over him and ended up hitting a snap power slam. Cody then connected with the Cody cutter to Sami Zayn, and he ended up going for the cover, to which Sami ended up kicking out. Cody was sent up for the crossroads, but Sami Zayn ended up raking Cody's eyes. Sami ended up going for the Blue Thunder Bomb, but Cody flipped through. Cody ended up going for the crossroads, but Sami Zayn ended up getting out, and he hit the Blue Thunder Bomb to Cody, to which Sami ended up going for the cover, and Cody ended up kicking out. Yeah, Cody ended up dropping down and uppercutted Sami. Cody ended up charging, but Sami ended up hitting an exploder into the turnbuckles. He sized Cody up in the corner. He ended up charging for a haluva kick, but Cody ended up countering with the crossroads. So Cody ended up going for the cover. Kevin Owens broke up the pin. So Kevin Owens ended up clubbing away at Cody and rolled to his corner. They started trading punches before Cody ended up setting up for the pedigree. Sami Zayn countered with a back body drop to Cody. So Owens and Jey ended up tagging in. Owens ended up blocking a super kick, and he ended up going for a stunner, but Jey ended up shoving Owens. Owens blocked a super kick, and he ended up super kicking Jey twice. Jey responded with a super kick that dropped Owens. Jey ended up going for the cover, and Owens ended up kicking out. Jey ended up heading to the top rope to deliver the Uso splash to Owens, but Owens moved out of the way. Owens then ended up dropping Jey with the stunner, to which Owens ended up going for the cover, to which the pin was broken up by Cody. Cody and Jey rolled out of the ring to recover. Sami Zayn ended up catching Jey and Cody with the somersault senton. Owens ended up getting Jey in the ring. He ended up going for another swanton, and Jey ended up getting his knees up. Jey then super kicked Owens. Owens ended up running in, and he hit a super kick from Jey. So Cody then ended up grabbing Sami Zayn, ended up hitting the crossroads. Jey and Cody ended up hitting Owens with the double super kick, and Jey lifted Owens for a flapjack as Cody ended up hitting a Cody cutter on Owens. So there you go. Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes end up winning the match, retaining the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. Post-match, Cody and Jey stood tall in the ring. They ended up shaking hands with Sami Zayn, and they ended up hugging him. Kevin Owens got into the ring. He ended up shaking hands with Cody. Owens looked over at Jey, and Owens finally shaked Jey's hand, and he ended up hugging Jey. So Owens endorsed Jey by raising his arm in the air as Monday Night Raw went off the air. Overall, very good main event match here for the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. And Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes will get their rematch with the Judgment Day next week on Monday Night Raw for the titles. Overall, this was a very solid Monday Night Raw tonight. But anyways, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow night for AEW Dynamite. Dynamite is not going to be on Wednesday night because of the MLB playoffs, so it's going to be on tomorrow night. Looking forward to the show tomorrow. Again, commercial free for 30 minutes. Tony Khan ended up announcing that, and we're going to get a 10-minute overrun because they're going head-to-head with NXT. So, looking forward to Dynamite tomorrow. So, until then, see you all tomorrow night.